low bar squats versus high bar squats. Is one better than the other? If so, which one should I be doing? Which one will enable me to develop more strength? Which one is better for my lower back? These are all questions I get asked all the time, guys. Recently, I seem to be getting asked it more and more and more. If you'd like to find out what my take on it is, then feel free to skip forward about 2 minutes or so straight to where I answer that question. But in the meantime, a little bit of background on this video. The reason I'm posting this video is I got an article sent to me by a friend the other day where a coach was essentially talking down the low bar squat, didn't like the fact that it had become supposedly far more popular to be coached than the high bar squat these days, because he felt that high bar squatting is the way to go to develop kind of real maximum quad strength over the low bar. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's not really what I'm here to discuss. What I'm here to kind of do is help people who aren't massive on lifting but would like to be. I'm going to help you understand why some people out there seem to really benefit from doing low bar style squats when they want to squat all the time. So not just to lift one big one-off number, but actually find low bar squatting just way more comfortable in general throughout their weekly, monthly training programs. So I've got my little whiteboard. I'm going to try and keep this relatively short for you, and more importantly, I'm going to try and make it really, really simple so that whether you've been squatting for years or whether you're just starting out, you can understand what I'm getting at. So without any further ado, guys, let's head over to the whiteboard, and please no taking the piss out of my diagrams. I try my best. Okay guys, take number 226 of the wordy part of the video, but we are going to get there together. So before I say anything else, two things that we must keep in mind when I go through this short video. Number one, if you were to take these two athletes, left and right, stand them completely upright, they would be the same height. But this person would be more torso, this person would be more upper leg. So this person's hips would be higher than this person's hips, but their overall height would be the same. So that's one thing that you've got to bear in mind, okay? Second thing is when we talk about squat mechanics, it's widely known that where you want the load when squatting, at the top of the squat, middle of the squat, bottom of the squat, you want the load that you're lifting, the barbell that you're lifting, to be directly over the midpoint of your feet. If it's too far back, you will simply topple over backwards. If it comes too far forward, then you're going to do what we call a squat mauling, which is where your hips shoot up out the bottom of the squat, and then you have to use your lower back to basically muscle the weight back up to a vertical position. So in an ideal world, weight directly over the midfoot. So when we talk about that and we bring that into our squatting pattern and bar position, this person here with their shorter femur in relation to their torso is able to keep a higher torso angle for the simple fact that as they squat down, their knees naturally track forward slightly anyway. Their shorter leg length, shorter femur length, means their hips are further forward in relation to their feet than the person with longer legs. So that means that their center of gravity is kind of further forward, so they can sit their torso more upright without toppling over backwards. So when this person decides, well, where should I put the bar? It makes sense that they would find it quite comfortable to put the bar in that high bar position on top of their trapezius, and therefore weight stays over that midfoot, provided their mobility is not seriously limited. So this person can find high bar squatting incredibly rewarding on a regular basis. This person, on the other hand, because of their longer femur length, I'm just going to point it out here, their longer femur length in relation to their torso, when they squat down to the same knee angle, so hips just below the knee, by default their hips are going to be further back in relation to their foot. And so therefore their center of gravity is further backwards. So to stop themselves from toppling over backwards, they have to lean further forward with their torso. You can see that angle is slightly increased from there. So now when we take that into the context of, well, how do we select our bar position? We want to keep that load over the midfoot at the bottom of the squat. So this person would benefit from having the bar slightly further down their back. This exaggerates it, this diagram, because it's not really to scale. We're talking 2 to 3 inches. So whereas this person would have the weight directly on top of the trapezius muscle, this person would have it kind of trapped or wedged between their traps, their lower traps, and their shoulder blades. And you kind of rest it on the shelf of your shoulder blades. But that's obviously a 2 to 3 inch difference, but it can make all the difference when it comes to keeping that weight over the midfoot. If this person with this extra torso lean was to put the weight directly on their traps. If you draw a straight line down, it's out in front of the foot or it's over the toe, leading to a lot more squat morning type lifting. So the differences between the two are minimal. This person's stance would probably be slightly wider, again, just to negate the length of their femur, and the bar is slightly lower down their torso. But really, it's still pretty much the same movement. It's just subtle differences to help this person feel as comfortable in the lift as this person. So when you see someone squatting like this in the gym, try not to judge them too harshly. They're doing what's best for their mechanics at the time. If you're not sure which of these two camps you fall into, then as I said, don't worry. It's not one is bad, one is good. But if you're having a bit of trouble working out which one you are, then drop me a comment, drop me a message, and I will endeavour to help you as much as possible. As I said, and it's the final message I want to leave before I kind of sign off, neither one of these is good or bad for you in terms of is one better than the other. In my opinion, you can gain benefits from doing both of these movements pretty regularly, regardless of your structure. It just seems to me that some people will naturally gravitate towards one or the other based largely on this factor here, what their femur length is in relation to their torso. So guys, I hope that was helpful. Like I said, you're having any issues at all, you know where to find me. I'm more than interested to talk to you about this stuff. I find it very, very interesting. But in the meantime, don't fret too much over how you're squatting. As long as you're hitting good depth and you're squatting with that weight over the midfoot, you're a long way there. Be consistent, and I will help you in any way that I can. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it from me. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll speak to you in the week. Peace out. Bye, guys.